What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to Self Center, the Yellow Pill podcast, where it's all about you. Because let's be real, if you're not putting yourself first, who will? I'm your host, Sheena, from Style by Sheena, and the creator of Lifestyle by Sheena. And today, we're getting down to business on a topic that's going to flip your world upside down: self love. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sheena, everyone talks about self love. What does it actually mean? Well, honey, you better buckle up because we're not just talking about it, we're going to live it, breathe it, and own it by the end of this very episode. Today, I'm breaking down the practical, no nonsense steps you need to start loving yourself first, and I'm not holding back. So if you're ready to stop looking for love in all the wrong places and start finding it right where it belongs inside you, then keep listening. First, we're going to get into part one, which is the shocking truth about self-love. So we're going to start with a reality check. Most people think self-love is about treating yourself to bubble baths and buying expensive candles. And while I'm all for a little pampering, let me hit you with this truth bomb. Self-love is not about luxury, although I love luxury a lot. It's about necessity. Yeah, you heard me right. Self-love is a luxury. It's a survival skill. Honestly, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you definitely can't thrive on fumes. So what are you moving on? The crazy thing is, we're taught from a young age to put everyone first. Everyone other than ourselves, that is. Our parents, our partners, our jobs. But what about you? Who's taking care of you? If you're too busy taking care of everyone else, how can you focus on your own needs? If you don't prioritize your own needs, you'll end up burnout, resentful, and wondering why you don't feel happy, even when you're doing everything right. So here's a shocking truth. Self-love is not selfish. It's essential. It's about filling your own cup so full that it overflows. And then, and only then, can you truly give to others from a place of abundance. So, what is self-love really? It's not just a catchy phrase or an Instagram hashtag or even a caption. Self-love is deep. It's an unshakable belief that you are worthy of love, respect, and care simply because you exist. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and understanding that you so freely give to others, because I know that you're out there giving everyone else love, sometimes even more than you're willing to give yourself. Now let's get one thing straight. Self-love isn't about being perfect. We're not pushing perfection with the yellow pill. We're honestly talking about just loving what's there. That means embracing where you are right now and who you are right now, and being willing to create better and more improved connection with self. So it's not all about having it all together or always making the right choices, but it's more about accepting yourself, your flaws, and loving yourself even on the days when you really don't feel like it. Even if you feel like a hot mess. I have those days as well. We're all a little bit of a hot mess at times, but that's okay. And it's about understanding that that's okay, and also embracing those moments, because those are the moments that make us feel. No matter what the emotions, be willing to feel them. Now, self-love is about looking in the mirror and saying, you know what? I may not be perfect, but I'm still worthy of love. I'm still deserving of happiness, and I'm going to treat myself with the respect and kindness that I deserve, no matter what. So now that we've got the basics of self-love down, let's talk about the how. How do you actually cultivate self-love in your daily life? Because let's be honest, it's one thing to say you love yourself, and it's another thing to live it, to actually live it and breathe loving yourself. Because what does real love entail? So let's get into some practical, actionable steps that you can start taking today to build that self-love muscle. What you're going to need to do first is set boundaries, and we're going to set boundaries like a boss. So first up, let's talk about boundaries. So boundaries are your way of saying, I love myself enough to protect my energy. They're not about shutting people out. Boundaries are about letting people in, letting the right people in and keeping the wrong people out. It's about knowing your limits and not being afraid to say no when something or someone doesn't serve your well-being. So here's the deal. When you set boundaries, you're not being mean or difficult, because sometimes we can see it that way and we don't want to set boundaries because of it. But you're actually being smart. You're taking care of yourself. And that, my friends, is the ultimate act of self-love. So the next time someone tries to guilt you into doing something you don't want to do, remind yourself, you're not here to please everyone. You're here to protect your peace. And the you is the most important. That's what we're embracing here. Okay, the next step that I think is also super important, and this is a practical tip for you to embrace self-love, is to speak to yourself with kindness. Next up, we have self-talk. So this one's a biggie. This is our inner voice. This is what we hear. So how do you talk to yourself when no one's around? Are you your own best friend, or are you your own worst critic? If it's the latter, it's time for a change, because the way you talk to yourself sets the tone for your entire life. So imagine this. You're standing in front of a mirror, you're looking at yourself, and what do you see? And more importantly, what do you say? If you're nitpicking every flaw or even calling yourself names, stop it right now. You've got to stop this. Seriously, cut that crap out. Instead, you got to start speaking to yourself with the same kindness that you would offer a true friend. You would offer them encouragement, kind words, and that's what you have to offer yourself in those moments where you feel not so kind, or even when you're criticizing yourself. So, give yourself a round of applause here and there. Celebrate every time you win, understand every time you lose, and no matter how small the victories are, embrace them. Remind yourself that you're doing your best, and that's good enough. Trust me, positive self-talk is a game changer. And step 3 is make time for yourself. Guilt-free time for yourself. Now, let's talk about time. Specifically, making time for yourself guilt-free. There's a lot of guilt associating with taking what we need for ourselves, and this includes time, our most valuable resource. In the hustle and bustle of the world, it's easy to put everyone else's needs before your own. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you did something just for you without feeling guilty about it? If you can't remember, it's time to change that. Self-love means carving out time for yourself, whether it's 10 minutes or a whole day, a weekend, a week, and doing something that makes you happy. Maybe it's something like reading a book. It could be taking a walk, which is something I prefer, or just sitting in silence with a cup of coffee or tea. Whichever you choose, whatever it is, do it, and do it unapologetically, because this is your time and you deserve it. And make sure you remind yourself of this daily. And also, don't let anyone make you feel bad for taking time for yourself, because this is taking care of yourself. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup up first, and then let the overflow bless others. What you can do next is practice self-compassion. This is the art of being gentle with yourself, especially when you make mistakes. Because spoiler alert, you're going to screw up sometimes. We all do. But instead of beating yourself up, practice self-compassion. When you mess up, ask yourself, how would I treat a friend who's in this situation? And then treat yourself the same way. And you're going to need a lot of these tap-in moments to remember to treat yourself like a friend. It will set up a new system where you look at yourself as you would a friend, and you change your self-talk. You'll offer yourself words of comfort, understanding, and support, which is what you yourself need as well. Remember, you're only human, and you're doing the best you can. Here's a little secret. The more you practice self-compassion, the easier it becomes to bounce back from your setbacks. You'll start to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than the reason to beat yourself up. Okay, step 5 is you're going to celebrate your uniqueness. And this is last but certainly not least, because your uniqueness is what makes you you. Those specific qualities that are different from everyone else are what makes you you. There's no one in the world that's exactly like you, and that's something to be proud of. Self-love means embracing what makes you different, even if it's not what society considers perfect. It's you. So stop trying to fit into someone else's mold and start celebrating the things that make you you. Whether it's your quirky sense of humor, your love for obscure hobbies, or the way you light up a room, own it. Your uniqueness is your superpower, and it's time that you start flaunting it. So let's tie all this together with the little yellow pill philosophy. The yellow pill is all about prioritizing yourself, your energy, and your well-being without guilt, without apology, and without hesitation. It's about embracing self-love as a daily practice, not just a once-in-a-while thing. It's about living a life that's true to you, not based on what others think you should be. When you take the yellow pill, you're choosing to live in a way that's authentic, empowered, and centered on what truly matters to you. You're choosing to love yourself first so that you can show up as the best version of yourself in every area of your life. And trust me, when you do that, everything else falls into place because you're your best you. So, speaking of self love, I've got something that's going to help you take your self love game to the next level, and it's my book, The Self Love Letter. And it's available right now at theselfloveletter.com. This book is your ultimate guide to cultivating deep, lasting self love in a way that's fun, engaging, and most importantly, real. Inside the book, you'll find powerful affirmations, practical exercises, and heartfelt advice that will help you love yourself from the inside out. Whether you're just starting your self-love journey or looking to deepen the love you already have for yourself, this book is for you. So head over to theselfloveletter.com and grab your copy today. Trust me, you won't regret it. All right, my loves, that's a wrap for today's episode of Self-Centered. I hope you're feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to start loving yourself first because you deserve it. Remember, self-love isn't a buzzword. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's the foundation of which everything else is built. So take these steps, make them your own, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. And don't forget, the yellow pill is here to remind you that it's okay to be a little selfish sometimes, because when you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to take care of the people that matter most. Thank you for tuning into Self-Centered. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a little bit more self-love in their life. I'll see you next week, where we'll dive even deeper into the art of living your best, most authentic life. Until then, keep shining, keep loving, and keep being the amazing person that you are. Stay centered, stay fabulous, and as always, take that yellow pill, baby. Later.
Today's episode of Self-Centered. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who could use a little self-awareness in their life. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms at Style by Sheena and Lifestyle by Sheena for more yellow pill content and updates on upcoming episodes. Until next time, stay centered, stay empowered, and keep shining. You've got this. Later.